Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Jones, the Bluff City Cowboy, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee. And tonight is NFL schedule time, where all 32 teams have had their schedules announced. So we've pulled the schedule for the Dallas Cowboys. Tonight, we're going to go through the schedule, give you our thoughts on potential records, what games we like, what games we don't like, where are the parts of the schedule that can be troublesome for us because we have a couple of them. We just talked about that off the air, and then we'll give our predictions based off each week where we're playing at, and give you our preliminary Cowboys record. So we're gonna probably do at least 3 record predictions before the season. We'll do one now, we'll do one before training camp, and then we'll do one after the preseason. So that'll kind of give us an idea of where the team is. So today, the one we're going to do is just first look at the schedule and just initial thoughts. So joining me tonight, got the creator and co-owner of DC4L Network, Miss Amanda Foster, joining us back-to-back weeks. Thank you for joining, Amanda.
Of course. Thanks for having me. What's up, everybody? Ooh, I absolutely love it when the schedule drops. Now we just have a long, hot summer to wait until we get there. It was almost 100 degrees here today.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was ridiculous. That is not boding well for summer. Yeah. You have no idea. But it was a good day. Got the schedule out. We had I guess a couple hours before the schedule dropped, we had basically the whole schedule without times. Not quite a fan of the way the NFL did us, but to be expected.
Yeah, but we'll definitely get into that
We'll get there
throughout the show. Before we get started, got to thank everybody for joining us. I see the views are starting to increase. I got quite a few people joining from my YouTube channel, so thank you guys for that. Also joining from X, for you people joining from X and from YouTube. If you get a chance, be sure to go to the DC4L Facebook page. A lot of great dialogue, a lot of great content, prizes, giveaways, just an overall safe space for Cowboys fans. So make sure you guys come and check that out. Also, you can go over to YouTube, find DC4L. It's DC4L Facebook group on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Also, you can find me at Bluff City Cowboys. Hit that subscribe button as well. And as you guys know, the show is fueled by Cowboys Nation. So give us your questions, give us your comments, give us your thoughts, and get those likes up. I see Jason Layton, Ray Dean, and Amanda just liked. So the views are still going up. Let's get those views to match those likes. So as you guys come in, make sure to hit that like button. All right, guys. So pretty straightforward show tonight. We are going to go through the 2025 NFL schedule that was pretty much released over the last 3 days, but finalized about an hour or so ago. So we're going to put this up on the screen. We'll go through and we'll get everybody's thoughts. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you share this. Share it to your personal page. Share it to your favorite Facebook group. Let Cowboys Nation know what we're talking about tonight. So the one that was revealed first, the big one. Cowboys at Philly on ring night, Thursday night football, first game of the season. Amanda, just initial thoughts. What do you think about us kicking off the season against the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles?
I hope we spoil a banner raising. I'm with you, Mart. Look, I'm hoping, Marty. I'm trying. I don't know. I don't like saying things until we start looking, looking at the team and seeing some sort of action here. But I'm just going to say that I look at that game, the season opener, and I say the third preseason of the game of the year, you better roll out some starters.
Right.
Do not try to do that in Philly.
Yeah. So just looking at the schedule, and we'll go row by row, just kind of talking about it. So looking at the first week, and I agree, the Eagles, I feel like if you look at the team, still a great team, they've lost a lot of pieces.
A lot of pieces.
They lost one of their star pass rushers in Milton Williams. They lost a linebacker. They lost Darius Slay. They lost their starting safety. They lost their left guard. They lost their left tackle. I mean, the numbers are climbing on key pieces that team has lost. And you can't just assume that they're all going to just gel together over one training camp. And then you add on top of that, the egos get inflated after winning the Super Bowl, so you get a bit of
Uh-huh.
lag. So I feel like we could definitely go in there and do damage on week 1.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, and like Danny V. I'm not gonna try to butcher your last name, but another great point says them raising their flag may spark the Cowboys to play their best football. Definitely hope that. Sam Perez asked how they're gonna guard our top 2 receivers. Now I
The
don't want to
same,
take anything from the Eagles. They have
yeah.
2 very good
They
young
have 2.
corners.
Yep, they do, and on top of that, they also it's kind of the same way we handle, AJ and Devontae. We're if you look at on paper, these 2 teams are very well matched.
Mm-hmm.
Would be what I would say. I'd say it's very well matched.
Mm-hmm. So just going through the first the first row, got back to back against our division with the Eagles and the Giants. And then after that, we go back to back with the NFC North with Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers. So we just talked about the Eagles. Anything stand out in these next 3 games? Any matchups you're looking forward to? Because I see a bunch of storylines we could definitely talk about in every game.
Um, I want to see who New York intends to roll out as quarterback.
Yep.
I'm sure it's going to be Russell. I mean, I couldn't. I'm guessing. I don't think they put Winston in, but the game outside of the Philly game that I'm really excited for is the Chicago game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited for that Chicago game. I don't know why.
I know why. You don't like Caleb Williams and you want to shut him up.
Maybe that might have something to do with it. But of course, then you've got the wide receiver loaded team in Green Bay that has 77 wide receivers on the roster. I don't know. I really feel like the first 9 games before the bye. I'm pretty confident. I think we get a little bit harder as the season progresses.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I think we have a really good chance of coming up to the bye with a very solid record. So
yeah, that 4th row is going to be deadly, but we'll get to that point. You talked about Green Bay and all those wide receivers. We owe them some payback from that playoff game. So
we do. And it's at home too, isn't it? Or is
it is at home?
It's at
Dallas.
Home. Yeah. So, payback.
I really like this first column. It's really going to show what this team is made of and what type of personality we're putting in place, because you got the rival Eagles like who was that said something about the banner? Danny V.
Danny.
Yeah. So you got them coming in pissed off. They're putting up their banner. They're smiling and happy, and we're just on the sidelines looking stupid. So are you going to bring the intensity up another level to show that you may have won last year, but we're still right there with you guys? And then, of course, the Giants game is always just a knockdown, drag-out competition, no matter what the records are. Week 3, you got Eberflus returning back to Chicago. So I'm sure he's going to want a lot of payback in that game.
Yeah.
He was there last year. He knows Caleb Williams well. So maybe he can throw a couple of wrinkles in on some stuff that they know Caleb Williams didn't work on last year, because all rookie quarterbacks have that one or two things that they try to hide from them. Luckily, our defensive coordinator knows that. And then we also get to play against the new wonder kid in town, the new head coach from the Lions. And then that Packers game, just overall payback after the embarrassment we went through 2 years ago in the playoffs. All right.
I'm excited for it. So
yeah. I see we got Danny's Dallas Cowboys, Lakers, let's go. Looks like a new name, so thank you for joining us. Sam Perez says the first row could be 1-3 or 3-1 if we can't get it together. Definitely agree with that. I'm leaning more towards 3-1. What about you, Amanda? First row.
Okay, I want to. The optimist in me wants to say 4-0, and Schottenheimer is going to come out. Look, he's been.
Okay,
I
Nate
told you last
Newton.
week he's been passed over time and time again for a head coaching job. And I saw a video today. That team loves that man. The
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys, they love this man. I don't know if y'all seen, but the players love Brian Schottenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to have a reason to play. So I'm leaning to 3-1 myself.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be the Eagles game. I really don't. I think the Cowboys, I have seen so many Cowboys players on Twitter. They are fired up to go into Philly and shut some people up.
Yeah.
They really want to. So I'm excited. That's where I'm at. I think
Yeah.
3-1 at the worst.
I agree. And like you said with the Eagles, I mean they dominated us last year, but that was with Cooper Rush at quarterback.
Yeah.
If you look at how the Eagles have played outside of Saquon Barkley's just monster games, the passing game wasn't really doing much last
Nope.
year. I mean, they exploded in the Super Bowl, but the 5 to 7 weeks leading up to that, it was a lot of turmoil between their receiver group and their quarterback.
Yeah.
And I personally don't think they've done anything to resolve those problems. And like I said, they've lost the left side of the offensive line. Saquon Barkley is an amazing running back, but you lose 2/5 of your line, and then you're shuffling new guys in. Week 1, you're still working those kinks out because, like we know, offensive line is all about continuity. So we'll definitely see what happens with that one. Delvin
I'm
Young saying,
excited. I'm excited because we should have both Jalen Hurts and Dak healthy. Knock on
yep,
wood. We should have both of them healthy. It's been so hard to get them to match up
yeah,
with injuries. So
yep. Just like we just talked about that. Solar, thank you for joining us. New name, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, they've lost quite a bit on that defense. I mean, we named 5 starters that they lost, and a key backup in Brandon Graham who retired. So they definitely don't have the firepower that they had last year. I mean, they still got 2 great defensive tackles. They got 2 great young corners, but the rest of their defense is very susceptible to being taken advantage of.
yeah, the Pickens trade is just
Mm-hmm.
absolutely genius. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go. We got a lot of 3-1s and 4-0s in here. So a lot of early optimism from Cowboys fans.
Isn't that funny how that turned on a dime? You asked everybody like a month ago, and it's like
Yeah.
we're going 0-17.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you made a great point about Schottenheimer because I haven't seen this level of just backing a coach.
Yeah.
God, I can't even think
Since
of the last coach that I would say,
Jimmy.
yeah, that's a long
Yeah.
time ago, but you're
It's a
probably
long
right.
time
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. The coach actually interacting with the players and him commanding respect, and you see the guys through social media and videos coming out, they're really taking on the task and really buying in.
Yeah.
So this definitely just a testament to what Schottenheimer's putting together. All right. So we go to row 2. And to me, this might be the easiest row
Yeah.
that we have. At the Jets, at Carolina, home against Washington, at Denver. Now, are there any games on that road that scare you, Amanda?
I don't. Okay. I guess you could look at it and say Washington should be a team that you concern yourself with.
Okay.
But I'm not too concerned. Just division games can go either way, but I'm
Right.
not worried. Dak Prescott absolutely handles that's one of the things about Dak. Dak handles his division. We might have some issues in the playoffs, but Dak Prescott is notorious for winning his divisional games.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about that row. I could see another easy 4-0.
So I did just notice 3 of those 4 games are away. So does that concern you at all?
Nope, because of who it is. I Carolina, New York, maybe Sean Payton and the Broncos, maybe.
Uh-huh.
But let's see, they got what? Who is that? Now I can't think of the quarterback in Denver's name.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, the
Oh
second year
man,
player.
yeah, I can't. He played really well last year, and it's
He did.
bugging me. Um, man,
Let me look it up really quick.
I can't believe it just like slipped my
Bo
head.
Nix. Thanks, Jeff. Bo
There we
Nix.
go. Yeah, Bo Nix.
Yeah.
He played really well, but I don't know. I'm not worried about that team necessarily. They could be the dark horse in the list, maybe,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not worried about that row.
I think looking at the schedule, honestly, that'll probably be our most physical game of the year. So that's why it concerns me. Usually those overly physical games in the past, we've been kind of bullied in games like that. Like if you go back a couple of years ago, look at the old Cardinals games, um, Denver a couple of years ago, the Rams a couple of years ago. So that's one of those bully games. The Raiders on Thanksgiving a couple of years ago. That's one of those kind of bully games where I feel like this is going to test the personality of the team. So by week 8, we should be kind of gelling and knowing where we are. So I feel like looking at that road, that's probably the biggest game because, like you said, we own the Commanders. I mean, we played them twice last year. We should have beat them both times, to be
Yeah,
honest. I mean,
without our starting quarterback.
exactly.
Well, no, we had him one game. I think we had Dak one game, didn't we? For that,
I don't remember if we had him the first game or not, but
I
yeah.
want to say we had him the first game.
But I mean, the second game, they had a lot to play for, and we still
Yeah,
almost beat them.
yeah,
So it's not like, even though they made it pretty far, and kudos to them, it's not like there was a wide margin between us and them last year.
agreed.
And yeah, I'm looking. The Jets don't concern me at all with Justin Fields at quarterback. The Panthers may make it more competitive, but I don't see a lot of talent there. So yeah, I could easily see that road going 3-1 also. Denver strong all around thanks to Sean Payton and that personality he's bringing. So yeah, Denver can definitely be a tough one. We got one of our admin in the comments, Rachel Neens. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Jeff says we owe Carolina for Ted. That's going to be a good storyline to pay attention to. Ted versus Revel. All right. So go to the third row. Got the week 10 bye. Amanda, how do you feel about that bye week? Should you think 10 is a good week? Should it have been earlier?
I like.
What are your
I
thoughts
like.
on bye weeks?
I am a big proponent. I don't like early bye weeks. I want it
Yeah,
later in the season. I like 10 and back. I prefer a 12 or a 13.
I agree.
But 10 is fine. I'm happy with 10. You get halfway through your schedule and you get that break. And we're going to need it because of what's about to happen after we play the Raiders. So
Exactly.
3 games in 10 days. And it's not even, chump change. So
Yeah. So just based off our early predictions, I think we both are at
6 and
three,
2.
6-2 from the second row. Then week 9 we have the Cardinals. The Cardinals have historically been our nemesis. I don't think
Yeah.
we've beaten them in the past 5 games, if I'm not mistaken. But
I
we
know
do
we
have
didn't the last time we played them.
our offensive coordinator is their former O-line coach, so hopefully he can help us to understand how to beat that outside zone that they killed us with. They got a lot of speed on the outside. Um, their defense is never good to me, but they somehow find a way to step it up against us. Do you think we change our fortunes this year?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. So that will put us at 7-3.
Headed
Six
into
and
the
three.
bye. 6 and
Six
3.
and three
No,
going
6
into
and
the bye.
7 and 2.
7-2. Okay, you're right. 7-2. Yeah.
7 and 2.
So 7-2 going into the bye week, and then come out with the Raiders first week. And I see a
8 and
couple of
2.
people put Genty in there. I mean,
Yeah, but he's one guy on a team that needed a lot of work.
yeah,
A lot of work. And a new coach, a new scheme. I mean, we'll
average
see.
quarterback.
Yeah.
I think the game will be interesting only because it's at Las Vegas, coming out the bye week. But I don't think it's going to be super competitive. I mean, I think Genty's a great running back, but they have a lot to overcome in Oakland, and one rookie running back is not going to turn their um
That's
their
correct.
fortunes around that quick. To me, I mean, what did they? I think they won what 3 games last year. They may win 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I don't think this will be one of them, but I think they'll look a little better. All right, so then we go into week 12. Another matchup against the Eagles at home. I wish I knew when the Eagles bye week was. Let me check really
We
quick.
can. You want to look? I say I was. I honestly think we should have had a bye week 11. Looking at the back end of our schedule, I
Yeah,
think that makes the most sense given what the league does to us shortly
exactly.
after that.
All right, let's look at their schedule really quick. 4, 14, 21, 28, 5, 9. When is their bye week? November 3rd. What week would that be? So they play the Cowboys on the 23rd.
What
Okay,
week
so their
nine?
bye week is about week
9?
9. Yeah. Yep. So their bye week's week 9. So they're not coming off a bye week when they play us. But I think by that point, that's probably going to be the game of the week for sure because I expect
Yeah.
both of us to have really good records at that point, and we'll be kind of competing for number one in the division at that time. And people forget the Eagles are playing the number one schedule this year.
Number one schedule. Yeah.
So where we're playing, trying to see what teams are they playing that we aren't. So like we're playing the Raiders, they will be playing. Well, we're playing the Chiefs. We're playing the AFC. So what am I missing? AFC North? Yeah, we're playing the Jets. So when we're playing the Jets, they'll be playing the Bills. Uh when we're playing the Panthers, they'll be playing the who won the South? The Bucks?
The Did the Bucks win? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're playing the Panthers, they'll be playing the Bucks, and we're playing the Cardinals, they'll be playing the Rams. Those are the three differences. So if you look at our schedule and think it's tough, replace the Jets, Panthers, and Cardinals with the Bills, the Bucks, and the Rams, and that's what the Eagles schedule looks like. So it's no guarantee that we'll both have winning records by the time we get to week 12. Jason Layton says, I think everyone's underestimating the Raiders and at Las Vegas. I don't think we're underestimating them. I think they're going to be better, but I can't see them being a competitive team this year with the personnel that they have. Their offensive line is terrible. I feel sorry for
Terrible.
Genty. I mean, they got some great tight ends, but I mean, tight ends can put up production, but they can't take over games. I can't even I can't even think of a defensive player outside of
No,
the defensive tackle that they got from the Dolphins. So it's not
Aiden
like they
Hutchinson, isn't he on their team?
no the
Oh,
defensive tackle Christian Wilkins
okay.
from the Dolphins for the Raiders.
Oh, okay. I'm
I mean
trying. Who is? I thought they had a star player on their team on their defense, though. The Raiders.
Christian Wilkins.
Oh, I thought it was
Oh, you're
someone else.
talking about Max
Aiden Hutch.
Crosby.
Oh, Max Crosby. There we go. See, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. He's on there.
I mean, he can cause some problems for sure.
He can.
But yeah, I just feel like we just outclassed them in every position.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. I mean, because you look at their corners. They're not guarding both of our top wideouts. I don't even know if they can guard Tolbert.
Right.
I mean, so um, so what are we at? We're at the Eagles game
Yeah, we're at the Eagles game
at
going
home.
into it. So what are we 8-2
Eight,
projection?
8-2.
Yeah.
Um, Man, I want to say that we're going to win at home. I really want to say we're going to take. I honestly think that's going to go 9-2 to that Eagles game, and then that's where I think the trouble starts.
Okay.
And it's not that
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think that 10-game stretch. I think we're going to drop 2 of the next 3 games after the Eagles. Not because we're not good enough. I just think that's a very tiresome schedule because November 23rd, and then that's the Sunday, and it's at 3:25. And then you play the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, which is at 3:30. And then 10 days later, or no, 7 days later, you play another Thursday game with the Lions. So you've got 3 very, very strong teams.
Let me go back to the third row, Amanda. So the week before the Eagles play us, they play the Lions. Interesting stat. The record for teams that played the Lions the next week was 2-15.
Wow.
The Lions beat up on teams so much that only 2 teams won the game the next week after playing them.
Wow.
Last year. So if history continues to repeat themselves and the Lions do what they do last year, history says we should have a win right there, but you never know. Different coaching staff, different philosophy.
I'm going with the win there too at 9-2. So, and I don't even know. You know what? We're about to find out with the Lions too how important Ben Johnson was and how level-headedly sane to a degree he kept Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
because
I said the same thing.
I'm not too sure we're going to see the same Lions team roll out.
Yep.
I think Ben Johnson didn't get even enough credit. I mean, he got it a lot, but I think Ben made that team. So.
Don't forget, they lost their defensive coordinator to Aaron Glenn. He's the coach of the Jets. So they've lost both coordinators. So this is pretty much Dan Campbell's ship this year until one of those coordinators kind of steps up and takes a stronghold. So we'll really find out. And you guys know how I feel about Dan Campbell.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
Yeah, I think he's one of the worst coaches in the league.
Makes the stupidest decisions.
I think they win despite him, but this year definitely prove it. All right, so going back to that fourth row, Amanda, you were just talking about, this one is going to be the one that really test the fortitude of the team.
That's right.
Chiefs on a short week on Thanksgiving at Detroit, Minnesota, Chargers.
So, injuries and all unaccounted for, because someone just mentioned the Eagles are going to be beat up. There's a very good chance. And I just want to put out, I don't think Saquon, how many non-injured seasons has Saquon Barkley actually put up? Because when he was with the Giants, granted, it also doesn't help with the team, but that man was, I hate to say this because I don't wish injury on anyone, but the likelihood that Barkley is to get injured this coming season, in my opinion, it was a fluke. He didn't get injured last year. And that was to credit to the offensive line of the Eagles, which, as we already discussed, is completely changed on the left-hand side. Mm-hmm. So there's a very good chance that could play into it. But I think we beat Kansas City. And then I think that's where the ship starts getting down, because we're going to be worn out from that 2 very, very high-powered games in 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and just so y'all know, Marcus and I were talking about this before. The problem isn't even necessarily, we go from, hold on. We pay it 3. It's a night game against the Lions. And then we play, what is it? What game are we talking about, Marcus? That was so crazy. Oh, okay. It was the Minnesota game.
Minnesota's the night game.
The night game. And then we play the 21st, which is 7 days from there. So I guess it wasn't what we were discussing. It wasn't quite as bad. So. Oh, I didn't realize we had a short week on that Raiders game, too. It's Monday to Sunday. Technically, It's a short week. Lots of short weeks.
Yeah. So. I mean, the Raiders is a short week. Obviously, the Chiefs is a short week. And then the Commanders is a short week because that's Christmas.
Right.
So we got what, 3 short weeks out of 7 games?
Right. The first team in NFL history to play 4 Thursday night games.
Yeah, so those 4 Thursday night games were the Eagles week 1, the Chiefs Thanksgiving, the Commanders, Christmas. What was the fourth one? Oh,
The
the
opener.
Lions. The Lions week
Oh yeah,
14
the
because it's back to
lines,
back
right?
Thursday night games. Yeah, Sam Perez says 7 short weeks this season.
Crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
The good thing is though, we do have that season opener, and then you have a 10-day stretch to really look at what you did
Yeah.
and build on it. So that is also very beneficial. We do have some benefits to the schedule. So
Yeah. And then if you look at the last two rows, I mean the last 2 weeks are away at division rivals. So I don't like
yeah,
that. Those games could be very meaningful. And they're going to be in January. So both of these teams are outdoors. So we'll probably expect to play back to back games in the snow or some
in the
type of
snow.
inclement weather.
Ugh.
The four before that, we do have three out of four at home. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So it
So we
looks
were at
like
what, 9-2?
what did you say was the record for the fourth row?
Um,
Okay,
2-2.
so let me ask you this question:
Yeah.
am I gonna enjoy my turkey on Thanksgiving?
Um, ironically, the Chiefs are not the team I'm worried about on that row.
Interesting. What team are you? You said 2-2, right?
Yeah, 2-2.
Okay, what two teams are you concerned about?
I think we're going to lose to the, and this is, barring Dan Campbell being crazy, is the Lions
Okay.
and the Vikings. I
Okay.
think the Vikings are going to be a very good team this year.
Even with JJ McCarthy as
Even
a
with JJ
rookie?
McCarthy, I
Okay.
think they were set up very well. Sam Darnold did well there last year.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They have a Kevin O'Connell, right?
Great.
Kevin O'Connell,
Great.
great coach, great coach. I really do. I think that's going to be the issue. Is coming. The only way we lose Kansas City is um, if that short week hurts us.
Uh-huh. Well, it'll be a short week for them too. Let me
It
just
will
check
be.
to see who they play before they play us. And Jason Layton brings up a great point. The Vikings have that early bye week, so by the time they get to us, they will have played 9 straight weeks.
That's very true.
Those early bye weeks we'll wear a team out when it gets to the end of the year, so they could work in our benefit. Okay. Oh, they play the Chiefs. They play the Colts before they play us, so nothing really to concern about
No.
for them. Deuce says I think the Chargers run game gonna be a problem. Adding the running back from the Steelers and then getting Omarion Hampton in the draft. I thought you were gonna say the Chargers because that concerns me too. They've got 2 big physical running backs. They have a great coach that knows how to scheme the run. I still don't trust their quarterback in big games.
Herbert. Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't trust Herbert. I don't
I
see
don't
what
either.
people see in him.
I don't either. I
He's
don't get it.
every playoff game he's played in, he's stunk it up. And I mean bad. It's not like an average game. He lost the game for them both times.
Yeah.
And whenever they play a big rival, he's usually just throwing picks left and right.
Yeah, think about that game against Jacksonville in the
Yeah.
playoff. Literally was ahead, had the lead, and then started throwing picks. What was it? 5 picks in that game? I want to say it was something crazy, right? I think he had 5 picks that playoff game. I know
Trevor
Trevor did
Lawrence had
too.
5 picks.
I thought they both had 5 picks.
He
I
had
wanted
3. He had
3.
3.
Okay.
Yeah,
I knew
but
it was crazy.
but
That
they
was
were up
such a
24 at the time, and he just
yeah.
kept throwing picks and getting them right back in it.
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't trust Herbert, but I do love that running game. Like everybody's kind of saying in the comments, everybody's saying Chargers and Lions. Jeff says Najee might be cut by then. Sam Perez says we beating Kansas City on Turkey Day. I agree. I don't see Kansas City as a big of a threat as they have been in the past. To me, they're getting old.
uh-huh.
All of their wide receivers are in trouble. By the time we get to that week, I mean, they may have to go bail out half the guys in their receiver room. If the game is close, like really close and they get the last possession, I'm afraid. But
Right.
if we're taking care of business and
I
we
think our
just have to
pass
keep
rush.
away.
I think our pass rush is going to get to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Look, he's great. I'm not discrediting what he's done, but when he gets antsy, and now you've got what Donovan, I can't pronounce our new guy's last
There's a
name.
Rocco.
Yeah, and then Micah on one side with Osa and Dante Fowler. We've really beefed up our team this year. I'm really excited. I'm not worried about that game.
Got
I'm worried about the games after it.
Kenneth Murray, a linebacker, one of the best
Yep.
run defending linebackers in the league.
Thank goodness.
By that time, you may have Overshown back.
He already played. Oh, he posted. He said, "I'll be there." He already said, "I'll be at this game." He put it up yesterday on his because I'm friends with him on Facebook. He posted it yesterday. He said, "I ain't missing this one."
Yeah.
I feel bad for the Chiefs on that aspect because he gonna come back proving a point.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule. I mean, he's probably playing week 11, week 12. That bye week is going to be really good for him.
I hope he's back by 12.
We should probably have Diggs back by then also.
I heard 4 or 5 for Diggs. I don't know if that's true. I heard week 4 or 5 because he might start on PUP, so you need like week 5 would be his earliest.
Yeah,
but
I don't trust that though. I think week 7 is probably more realistic, but he could surprise us.
And for everyone worried about that, I think Revel might make it so Diggs is a cut next year. And I know some people aren't going to want to hear that, but if Revel comes back from the injury the way he can play, my goodness, I can't believe we got him in the 3rd round.
Yep.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper.
So, somebody said, Delvin Young, you said, I think our run game will be a problem.
I do too.
Do you mean in a good way or a bad way? Because, there's 2 different meanings to that. Because Deuce, before that, said, I think the Chargers run game going to be a problem. So, Delvin Young, let me know. You mean that in a good way or a bad way? Just curious.
He said Rebel is hurt also. So he's in the chat commenting. So let us know. But just so you know, Rebel should be back week 1, right, Marcus? Didn't we look at that timeline?
Rebel will be back by training
camp. Yeah, Rebel will be back.
Yeah, he's already running full speed. He just hasn't started cutting and doing football drills yet. But this is middle of May. So he's got 6 weeks to start cutting and doing drills. And by the time camp starts, everybody's out of shape. So he'll be getting back into shape with everybody else. So he's not behind the 8 ball right now.
He said in a good way.
Yeah.
I actually am really excited for Jaden Blue. I think he was a great pick. I keep watching some of his highlights, and I'm really impressed with his hands out of the backfield.
Yeah.
He is an amazing passing running back. I think we got thunder and lightning again. I'm excited. Yeah. We addressed every need. We pretty much addressed every need. I'd like another defensive tackle, but right now I don't want to say that to Jerry, but I'll say thank you, Jerry Jones. You did it. You didn't say we were going all in this year, and you actually somewhat made moves that appear to be all in. I don't really know what to make of that, but
Yep. I'm expecting the defensive tackle to be brought in before training camp, honestly.
Who do you think?
I'm watching the Lions because I still think they may cut or trade DJ Reader. And there is a defensive tackle. I'm trying to think of the name because it escapes me right now. He played for the Raiders last year. He's a veteran guy. He's like 32, 33, but the last 3 years he was a top graded run defender, and for a defensive tackle, he had 40 tackles 2 straight years. So
John Jenkins,
that's it. Defensive tackles that are older, they normally don't join a team until training camp because they're fat guys. They don't like working out. Basically, all they have to do is come in and be strong and fat. So they want to miss OTAs. They want to miss mandatory minicamp. They just want to come in when the lights are on and do what they do. You can look at You could just look at the history of defensive tackles who signed contracts late. Like we got Dalvin Tomlinson a couple years ago. You look at Ndamukong Suh all those years. Defensive tackles are going to join late. I think he's going to be a guy who's going to join a team around July, and I think we're going to be at the top of that list. That or DJ Reader. I think it's one of those two. Delvin Young saying Revel's coming off a knee injury. We never know what you're going to get. That's true.
It is. It is true, but I don't know. The younger ones tend to bounce back a little bit better than an older player. Now, corner is a hard position. We've seen that with Diggs, but the issue with Diggs is also the fact that we all know, we've heard it. We've heard the rumors, and there's enough rumors to base it in truth. He does not like to do his conditioning and his rehab.
Yeah.
And I think that plays into it. I think that's why he got hurt again so quickly. Just my opinion, but.
Yep.
I like Reader too, Jeff. I wouldn't mind Reader at all.
Yeah, I agree. And there's still a couple of safeties out there too.
We do need a safety.
A free safety at that. So I don't think this team is done making moves yet. But
Isn't that weird to say? Isn't that weird to say after the history of the past few years? Just we don't think the team's done making moves.
That's definitely true.
Jerry's getting older. I think maybe, that or Schottenheimer, caught him with somebody and he doesn't want him to tell his wife. I don't know. I've never seen someone get everything they wanted.
That's true. That's true. That's the name I'm watching, Jeff. Justin Simmons is the name that I have circled. He hasn't signed with anybody yet. And, he's 32 years old, but we know what Justin Simmons can do. He's out there for a reason. So he's probably just buying his time, looking at the situations and seeing what can happen.
Do you think we could potentially bring in another camp receiver?
Nah, I would probably say no. I think Tolbert's taking a step this year. I think he's going to be a solid 3. They got to give Mingo a shot. With Pickens and Lamb, I don't like Mingo, but the traits going against number 3, number 4 corners, he's 6'2", he runs a legit 4.4.
Yeah.
He can make something happen over there. But I think Tolbert's going to step up and be a solid 3, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. And then Mingo, I think they have a plan for Turpin.
And then Holden.
And
that's my little horse, okay? I know that sounds crazy, but that's the guy I'm watching.
Pet cat?
Yeah, it is. I think he's the guy who sneaks onto the roster because I still don't understand how he wasn't drafted. It makes zero sense. The dude can do everything.
Mm-hmm. And we don't have a backup slot. And I feel like Holden is a perfect fit for a backup for Lamb. If you decide to put Lamb at that Z position and just let him get one-on-one. Because we talked about last week what happens when you put Pickens at the X and Lamb in the slot beside him. What do you do when Pickens is on one side and Lamb's on the other?
Pray.
You
just pray.
Are you going to play cover 2 and just keep everybody deep? Okay, well, whoever's in the slot or Jake Ferguson or Blue coming out of the backfield, they're going to eat. So there's definitely going to be a lot of stuff that we can do with those 2 guys that are going to help some guys out. But I would really like Holden in the slot if we put Lamb outside on some plays.
I really think that we've got some players. You've got 2 number 1s now who can really coach up those younger guys as well. But like I said, that's another reason I'm stressing. I don't know if I need to go hold a sign outside the Star. Maybe I should contact, the people, be like, hey, can I come to practice? I need to come hang out for a minute and just hold a sign that says, please start the starters, at least in game 3. Like we have to. We have Pickens. You can't throw Pickens out there just after some practice. You need in-game action. So.
Yeah, I mean, you got to try it. And then, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen only because you got Dak coming off injury. So I think they're going to kind of slow play him. I mean, they may play, but it's probably going to be with Joe Milton
North Milton.
Or who's the other quarterback?
Will Greer.
Will Greer, yeah. So I can see the receivers playing, but I don't know if Dak's going to be out there with them. And if he is, maybe one drive.
Yeah, just one drive, okay?
Yeah.
And protect him like your life depends on it.
Did Dak play at all last preseason?
Not at all. We didn't play no starters.
Okay.
Not one starter rolled out there. They didn't even let Zeke get out there.
That's true.
At least then he could have got a few more yards than he did. Sorry.
I would think, and I hope Tanya's not listening, but I would think just with the personality Schottenheimer's building, with the whole competing and toughness, I think they're gonna probably at least get a drive or two in. I don't think they're gonna let them just completely sit on the sideline every week.
I thought you were about to say something about Deuce.
Who, me?
Yeah, you said I hope Tanya's not listening, so I'm just waiting on some kind of Deuce comment to come out.
Zeke too. You talked about Zeke.
Oh, okay, well that's true. Yeah, Tanya, I'm sorry. Kid Cowboy, we talked about this last week. If you want to go back and watch our show, Pickens is not commanding $35 million a year. There's no way his ceiling's 30. So just
30 is wishful thinking.
Yeah, Pickens is not commanding that kind of money. You can go look at the top paid receivers, and then you convince yourself that he deserves more than JJ. JJ, Chase.
CD.
He don't even deserve more than Higgins. And I don't mean, it's not. And I'm not going to quit. And it's if you want to call it a 1-year rental, we discussed this last year too. Even if he signs somewhere else, it's basically for free because you're getting a 3rd round compensatory pick back. Yeah. But Pickens is not making $35 million a year. I don't know where people keep pulling this out of.
Yeah, so. I don't get that either.
Yeah.
Even if he has an amazing season, he's still not getting 35.
Nope.
So yeah, looking at the schedule. So last 2 weeks, Amanda, what are you thinking right there? Away, 2 division rivals, playoffs on the line, cold weather games.
Okay, the first thing I'm thinking is, why do I have to tell my kids on Christmas morning, hey, hurry up, Mama's got a football game to watch at noon?
On Netflix.
So I'm a little peeved at the NFL because the one game I wanted to go to, I'm trying to figure out excuses how to explain to my family that Mama's going to cook Thanksgiving dinner Friday. I've already been trying to figure out like excuses I can make for why I'm not going to be here to cook Thursday. But I think we split it 1-1. Huh?
Oh, you said Christmas or Thanksgiving?
Oh, I was just saying on Thanksgiving, that's the one game I've been telling Tanya I wanted us to go to. I want Travis Kelce. This is last year, one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. Patrick Mahomes, he literally grew up 30 miles from where I grew up. So it's just something that I want to see them play. I didn't get to last year when I had Super Bowl tickets. So, I just wanted to go to this game. So I'm trying to figure out how to explain to my family we're doing Thanksgiving Friday. But I think we split the last 2 games 1-1. So.
Okay. I'm leaning right there with you also. So that would put us at, I believe, 12-5.
12-5. That's what I have rolling into the season. It's 12-5 because we did it 3 years in a row. Bad year with Dak's injury. So the next year. So that's kind of where I sit, 12-5. And that's, low end 11-6. We're making the playoffs.
I would put low end 10-7, but I definitely see that. So let me ask you this question then. Looking at the schedule, what's that one old crap game that we all expect them to win and then they just get blown out of the water? Normally it's the Cardinals. Last year was the Saints. Anybody on the schedule this year?
Um, the Chargers.
Chargers. Okay.
Yeah, I think
I'm
I'd
le-
look at. I mean, that's the game. Yeah,
I'm leaning Chargers also. I Because of that running game, I'm
yeah,
leaning Chargers as well.
and it's definitely not because of Herbert
Yeah.
and his overpaid contract.
Yep. All right. So we got a lot of predictions. Delvin Young says the Jets. Boy, kid Cowboys just a
I'm starting to think like maybe a troll. I
he
don't
has to be.
like the things I just absolutely bizarre.
So Jeff Pop going with the Nate Newton special, 17-0. You know, I don't know if you watch Hanging with the Boys, but Nate Newton
Yeah,
thinks we're gonna win every game. I
I
mean, it
know
doesn't matter
Nate
what
Newton is so
situation.
excited.
I love it.
I do too. Did you hear what is it? Troy Aikman messing around on Good Morning America said we're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I heard that. Okay. So we've kind of gone through talking about 12-5. Is the Chiefs the game that people think we're gonna lose? That everybody kind of feel up all the Cowboys fans like we're gonna win? Is that the game? Or is it
That's
week?
the game that everybody thinks we're going to lose that game unless you're a Cowboy fan.
So between the Chiefs on Thanksgiving and the Eagles week 1, both of those games we're expected to lose. Which one do you think is the most likely that we do pull off the upset?
Oh man, that's not fair. Um, I really think Jeff, I do agree, but the most likely to pull off the upset, I would say week 1, simply because I don't know. This team is fired up for that game. You literally, the NFL made it so you're going to have to. We haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years, and you're
Uh-huh.
going to, lift up that banner right in front of us. And they've lost so many key pieces. So I would say that would be the more likely one, just because the rest tend to side with the Chiefs.
Uh-huh.
So
I think I'm leaning towards that one too. I mean, I hope week 1 is competitive. I think we can pull it out, but the history of the defending champ losing week 1 is not
not
working
good.
towards our favor.
Nope. Going to go in as underdogs in that game for sure.
All right. What do you think will be the longest winning streak looking at this schedule?
Week 2 through 7.
Okay. You think we take all 5 of those, all 6 of those?
I do.
Okay. I'm pretty much in agreement with you on that one. And I feel like so let me ask this question then. And we'll probably get out of here in a minute. So we've heard Schottenheimer talk about changing the culture and what the plan's going to be. How long do you think it'll be in the schedule before we kind of see he's going in that direction, or he just blew smoke up our butts?
Okay, so I want to note that I don't know a time I've ever seen videos come out in the history of the players golfing with the coach and doing things outside of, football things.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a video today, literally Shotty was drinking. He said he was having a shotty and
Yeah.
it was Tito's and some lemon wedges with a splash of water. And he's messing with CD and Micah in a golf cart. I've never seen this kind of camaraderie. So I think the culture is already starting. I
Mm-hmm.
think we will see that culture shift by week 1. Now, we might not win week 1 just because the odds are stacked against us, but I think we will come out and see something different week 1. And I think we might even see it starting in preseason and at training camp. I think the videos we're going to see are a lot different. So
I got rid of Kid Cowboy. I couldn't take it anymore. So I feel like by week 4 we're gonna know, because I feel like week 3 going to Chicago, that was gonna be the first like physical competitive game.
Yeah,
And
I can see
then
that.
you got that, and then you go to week 4 with Green Bay, and if they're not up for week 4 after what we went through 2 years ago, then he definitely doesn't have the locker room. They should come out completely fired up.
I will say at the latest week 4 as well, but I really think we're going to see something different starting week 1.
I can see that too.
If they go out there and just lay an egg week 1, then we've been most likely getting,
Yeah.
BS all off season.
All right, guys. Before we get out of here, I've seen people kind of scatter their records here and there. Could you guys one more time just put your prediction of the records, preliminary tonight, just so I can have a record of it and kind of see where you guys are. I
Yes,
know
let's see.
you all kind of scattered them throughout, but I would really like if you guys, just before we get out of here, just put your records one more time so that I can see them all together.
Welcome in, Warbone. I just want to say hi. I don't think I've recognized your name before, so just
Yeah, that looks
welcome
like a new
in.
name.
Welcome in. 13-4. Everybody seems pretty optimistic.
Yeah.
And Jeff's came down from a 17-0, and we got some realism here. We're now 12-5 is kind of where I'm at too, Jeff. That's where I'm at. So
Yeah. Let me see. Any other questions I got related to this? Oh, looking at the schedule, which side of the ball you think will get tested more this year? Offense or defense?
defense.
Okay. So, last year, I think we had a losing home record for the first time in like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah,
You think we change our fortunes this year? I mean,
I do believe so.
we got Green Bay, Washington, Arizona, Eagles, Chiefs, Vikings, Chargers. So it's a lot of competitive games at home.
It is. Maybe, maybe tie. I don't know. Once you read all the games off, I realized those are some of the games I picked to lose.
Exactly. That's why I said I just looked at that too.
Whoopsie. Okay, so maybe I don't know, Marcus. We played so well on the road last year for absolute. We're never a road team, and we played so well. So I don't know. Oh, I hate doing stuff so early because I haven't seen a lick of what this team's gonna
I
do.
know.
At least with Mike McCarthy, it's kind of you had an idea. With Schottenheimer, you have to go back to like Seattle where he was an offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to put in perspective, and then you're relying on rookies as your running back. I'm very happy because I know what production we can get out of our receivers, and I know for the most part what our production is going to be defensively. And I think we're going to lead the league in takeaways again this year. I really, really do. That's one of my big predictions. We're going to get back to leading the league in takeaways and sacks.
Okay. I could definitely see sacks.
Well, I mean, think about it. Dante Fowler, Osa, and Micah. Dante led the league last year, didn't he?
Dante?
Yeah, didn't he? Fowler?
No, he didn't lead in sacks. I mean, he had like 11 sacks though.
11 sacks. So who led? Yeah. And then Micah, I guess Mike was out there. So 2 of the top 5 in sacks. That's fair, right?
He was up there. I don't know if he was top 5. He was definitely up there.
2 of really, really good people.
2 really good ones,
sacks. Yeah, 2 really, really good sack machines. And I really think. What?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, what's the guy's name? Jay Toya? Is that the big guy we drafted late?
Uh-huh.
I think he's going to be a surprise too. He's going to plug up that middle. He's a big dude.
Mm-hmm.
I really am. I'm pretty confident defensively what we're going to do.
I think we're leading sacks because I feel like kind of what you just mentioned. We're gonna have more guys who are able to help with that sack stats. Because last year was pretty much Micah had 14, and then the next guy had 5, and he was a defensive tackle. And then it was a bunch of ones and twos. I think this year, I would be shocked if we don't have at least 4 people with 5 sacks.
I would too. And we
So
got some speed coming off those sides.
yeah. So between Micah and Fowler, like you just mentioned, then you got Donovan. Then you possibly have Sam Williams coming back if he's not traded. You got Osa stepping up in the inside because that 3 tech is big in our Eberflus scheme. Kenneth Murray's actually a really good blitzer from the linebacker position.
He is.
So that's another guy who can give you some sacks. Yeah, Jack Meeker, thank you for joining us. We talked about that earlier in the show. We definitely think they're going to bring in a veteran. Let me see. Any other?
Jeff's giving people heck in the comments. Look, this is Mozzie's make it or break it year.
Yeah.
This is it. This is year 3. You prove it, put up or shut up right here. He could get cut in camp.
He could. That's a possibility. If the coaches believe in competition like they say.
Yeah.
Jeff asked a good question. Do we play Nealon more on the inside? More than he played last year, for sure.
For sure.
I don't think he'll be like a starter, but he's definitely going to play more on the inside. All right, let me see if anything else stands out in this schedule. I'm glad we play Chicago week 3.
Before they get too good.
Before it gets too cold, too.
True.
Yeah. So the only real cold weather games we have to worry about at the end of the year are those last 2.
Yeah.
After the bye week, we're pretty much good in terms of cold weather.
We got lucky there.
Yeah, we did get lucky there.
And William, I just want to answer your question real quick. I do not think we're going to be as heavy of a passing team as you think we are. Brian Schottenheimer loves to run the football. If you look at his history, that's what it shows. Yes, we have 2 wide receivers, but it's so important to remember last year we had to pass so much because we didn't really have a running game. And when we finally realized we did have a running game, the run opens up the pass. The pass, you have to tie those 2 together. It's so important to tie those 2 things together. So it's important to me that we realize I don't think Dak's going to have to throw for 5,000 yards.
Yeah. Delvin Young, Detroit is at Detroit. So that's an away game. But it's on a Thursday night and it's after the Thanksgiving game. So we will have 7 days. We will have a little mini bye week in there. And the Lions are going to have a short week. So that does kind of work in our favor right there. William Coulter said, who's going to run it? We're going to be losing a lot. I think you underestimate our running backs.
I do too. Jaden Blue is no slouch, and he runs a 4.38.
Well, it'll be cold, but it's a dome team.
Yeah.
All right. Jeff Pop, linebacker from UTSA. I don't know who that is. If you're talking about the undrafted guy, that's the linebacker from Syracuse. If that's what I think you're thinking about. Willie Vassar looks like a new name. Thank you for joining.
Welcome in.
All right.
Jeff, so Tanya and I did 2 games last year. We did the home opener And then, of course, the fan of the year game where the Cowboys paid for me and her to come out, me, her. And then if you know anybody who knows the Cowboys experience, that's one of our partners. So Barry's the owner, and he came with us. So it was the three of us. The Cowboys had us out. I'm not sure. I've heard rumors that the Cowboys should get in touch with me in the next month or so about a game up until they announce the new fan of the year. So if we do, and that does happen, we will work on a game. The game we were at, we actually had three of our admins at that game. We didn't get together because I was tied up that game against the Bucks, but we have a bunch of people. So hopefully, yes, we will do something and get together with everybody. Okay. That's the plan. I know y'all are coming in, right, Marcus?
Yeah, we're doing at least one game. And me and Jeff will probably get together. He has a cousin in Chicago and an uncle. So we may try to do that Chicago game because it's early in the year and it's only a 7.5 hour drive. And then we'll probably do a home game. If looking at the schedule right now, if I had to guess, I would probably circle that Cardinals game as the most likely for us to come to Dallas because that should be around Columbus Day. Yeah, that should be around Columbus Day, week 9. So I would probably look at that game.
Yeah, I need to look up. I got to talk to Tanya. She's on her social media break, but I need to see what we plan on doing this year. I got to see what the plan is. Originally, we've discussed the Chiefs game, but I'm just not sure if either of us are comfortable doing that. Family, you know how family's important. Yeah. And I love football. Football is extremely important in my life, but I'm just not sure if I want to make that sacrifice yet. Even though I want to, I'm not sure if I will. So
the Cardinals game is November 3rd. So
that's a good day. So
yeah, the Columbus Day game would be at the Panthers. But yeah,
I'm really looking at that Washington game too, that week 7 Washington game. Mm-hmm. So
if that's the game you guys were thinking about, I would consider it. I've been to three Commanders games. But I mean, I would more just be going for the experience than the game. I enjoy going to the stadium. So
yeah, we'll have to discuss it in the chat because I know a bunch of the admins intend to come in this season too. I need to figure out which game everyone plans to try to come to.
Okay.
So I think Tina had mentioned her and her husband flying in from Pennsylvania again, and I missed them when they came a couple years ago. So
yeah.
But
and to be honest, I mean, I'll drive to Dallas even if I don't go to the game. If you guys are all meeting up. Because I just enjoy the experience. And I've done that before where I went to Dallas, did all the tours and hung out for a tailgate and then drove back home when the game started. So I would be good with that too.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll have to talk. We got a few months to discuss it. So, and I don't buy games right now. I mean, I know people are buying tickets right now, but the issue is the panic buying is going on.
Yeah.
And I looked at tickets for that Chiefs game just out of Barry and I were discussing it. And he said it was like $900 for seats in the 200 section. Like you can get club level seats typically cheaper than that. So, but we'll look it up.
William Coulter going to the Christmas game. Hope you enjoy.
Nice. Yes. Merry Christmas.
No, he said that's at Washington. Never Washington.
It is.
That's the Christmas game, right? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah. Have fun. So yeah, that's pretty much all we got for tonight. Just wanted to go through the schedule. Hope you guys are excited. It looks like you are. That football is getting closer and closer to becoming a reality. We got the schedule. We know who we're playing. Now we just got to watch the guys get on the field and see what they produce. So we still got a lot of great content coming for you guys. Next week, we're going to do undrafted free agents. I'll see if I can get Professor O. He's done it with me the last 3 years. So maybe he'll come back and join me again next week. And then after that, we'll be doing our position breakdowns where I'll be going position by position, giving you guys a rundown of how many people we got at the positions and how many we can expect to keep and who will be the starter, things of that nature. So we'll probably do that for at least 3 weeks. And by that point, we'll probably be getting pretty close to a mandatory mini camp. So we hit mandatory mini camp, and then we're off and running in the training camp. And before you know it, it'll be week 1 at Philly. So a
I
lot of
always
Cowboys
wish we could
content.
just jump right to training camp. I hate this part of the year. I know it's hot and miserable, and I just want football back on the TV. Yes, Jeff, it should be there. I sent you that tracking. It should be there pretty
Yeah.
good. Jeff Pop. So Tanya and I will start going over all that. We typically actually start buying prizes in the next month. But if you're in the group, if you were in a league last year and you're in the group chat, what happens is our league managers come in, say, hey, if you want to play, if you want to play again, let us know. So if you're in a chat, just claim your spot and you don't have to worry about it. But if you're not in a chat and you're wanting to move up to a 250 league or maybe wanting to add more leagues, just watch. I typically post the first interest post around mid-June, and then we start filling right around the time training camp starts because our leagues are extremely popular. And last year we didn't even, I don't think, I think we had 15 spots last year across almost 16 leagues.
Mm.
So make sure you watch because
Yeah.
they fill quick.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Everybody who plays sticks around typically.
Yeah, definitely. I've been around 3 years now.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
That's how I met Jeff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Jeff's won 2 leagues in the 3 years he's been
I
playing.
think he won 2 last year. Did you win 2 last year, Dunnigan? I want to say he won 2 prizes last year, but I could be misremembering. Or it was the year before that. One year he won 2, I want to say.
Yeah,
But yes, I know.
he won a helmet one year, and I think last year he won a jersey.
Oh.
All right, guys, and also I do host my own fifth quarter podcast league. I have a bunch of podcasters who get together, so we just do a league for fun. I just put a prize up just to get everybody together. We normally try to have one viewer join the league. I think William Coulter joined the league one year. I can't remember the guy's name who joined last year, but he did win the league. So I haven't seen him on the stream. So we'll probably have an open spot. So if you just want to come hang out with a bunch of podcasters, it's compiled of the guys from Pick Six Sports, the guys from the UK Cowboys, and then we also have a couple of other podcasts. I think Jay Tuck used to be with us. I don't remember if he's going to join again or not.
Yeah.
So if you guys just want to join, hang out with some podcasters, we do the draft live. Jeff, you're already in the league. So we do the draft live. You guys can hang out with us, ask questions, and overall, it's a good experience. So if you guys want to hop in the league, we should have 1 or 2 spots open. Oh yeah, you did win a Super Bowl ring. Forgot about that. So yeah, the viewers have actually been. I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand, Amanda.
I'll play.
Okay, I'll hold a spot for you. If we have 2 spots, I'll hold a spot for you.
Yep, please do.
Yeah.
Does Teague play anymore?
Yeah, Teague still plays. Yeah, Teague plays in my league,
so.
and then we play in his too. So yeah.
I want to take him down.
Teague's really good.
I know he is. I watch him. I watch his comments. I'm friends with him too, and he's really good.
So yeah, it's a really fun league, really competitive. Lot of podcasters, so you get a chance to really connect with a lot of the Cowboys content creators. So I hold a spot open for a viewer. I think that's pretty much all we got for tonight's show. We've gotten past the draft, so no more 2 and 3 hour shows. We're hour 15, hour 30 minutes for everybody joining us for the first time. We're going to hit you guys with a lot of great content, give you back the rest of your night so you can enjoy whatever else you have to look forward to. But if you'd like to join us again, you can always join us every Wednesday night at 8:30 Central Standard Time for the Fifth Quarter Podcast. Like I said, next week we will be doing undrafted free agents, and then we will go into our position breakdowns leading up to mandatory mini camps and training camps. So we got a lot of content coming up, and I hope you guys continue to tune in. Be sure to hit that like button. Find us on Facebook, DC4L. Find us on YouTube, DC4L and Bluff City Cowboys. So we definitely appreciate all you guys' support. Jeff, I know you've been here since day one, so definitely appreciate that as a viewer and as a guest. I got quite a few regulars in here, so thank you guys also. Amanda, you got any closing words before we get out of here?
No, it was a pleasure talking to you, and I'm sure I'll pop back in about a month or so we can sit down and talk once we get closer to camp. But as always, it was great being on here, and I just appreciate everyone rocking with us. We're over a year now. We're over a year in, so it's been awesome. I appreciate you, Marcus. You're holding it down.
No problem. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate all your questions, all your comments. Look forward to seeing you guys join us again. And as always, let's go Cowboys. I will see you guys next Wednesday night, 8:30 Central Standard Time. Same time, same place, Fifth Quarter Podcast.